Okay, so next speaker before lunch is Patrycja, who's already made herself known to everybody. So I will let you introduce yourself and carry on.
Thank you for this introducing. Okay, let's try. I should turn next. Yeah, right. Oh, something's wrong with the text. Hopefully you will see everything on the next slides. It's strange because I did it on a template. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Patrycja. And you cannot see it because it's covered by the text, but I'm from Poland and I'm from a CRK company, which I'm an owner from 7 years now. And today, for the second time in this conference and for the second time having lecture, I would like to show you my 6-year experience in the field of training people in a practical way. But before I will tell you something about my experience, I would like to tell you and ask you, how many of you work now in clean rooms and do some practical job, not sell something or implement some procedures or devices, but work in clean room? Oh, great. And how many of you work for pharma industry? Oh, man. Okay. And how many of you work, for example, for medical device? None. So the rest, which were working in clean rooms instead of pharma, are working where? Oh, okay. So, but you produce something, or you need to reach the requirement, the GMP requirements? Okay. So we have pharma industry here. Okay. So I will show you something about some other types of productions. Hopefully you will like it and find it interesting. So let me introduce myself for a little. As I said, I'm an owner of CRK company, and my experience in the field of sterile production of ATMPs is over 15 years old now. And I worked for sterile production in a pharma company for 9 years. There I did almost everything. So I implemented the QMS system, I did the sanitization, I did the microbial and particle monitoring, and many, many others. So that's why I decided one day to open my own company. And I thought that's why I asked you if you work in the pharma industry or others, because I thought that it is so beautiful and it works so perfectly like in my company. And I thought that if you have some requirements, for example, from GMP, it means that you need to reach them and you go through them, and everything is very nice and perfect. But when I met other types of production and other companies, I realized that it is not so easy to, it is easy to read and implement some requirements to your SOPs, but it's not so easy to push the people to meet these requirements. And I will show you on my photographs how it's working. Okay, the photographs you will see here were prepared with the company I also work with, because I work with many companies in Poland and internationally, but this presentation was prepared with Bardusz. Bardusz is a laundry, same as Alice, and we have designed them and built them SOS. We have implemented the GMP system for them, and I asked them if I can make some photographs for my presentation. They said, yeah, go ahead, but then you need to clean it up. So yeah. It was a tough work, but all you will see here is that cooperation. Okay, several rules, several gold standards, which are written in ISO 14644. We all know this Dutch, so it means that I won't read it, but to summarize, we cannot do many things in clean rooms. There aren't many things that are allowed to do in clean room. Especially what I would like to mark is eating and drinking and touching your skin and touching the walls and the floors during working, so as generally we need to support the product and the material and the technological process sorry, against the contamination. So we heard a lot today about the contamination control strategy, and basically this what you see here is a short information that we put to our SOPs to make this contamination control strategy working. So first, try to compare a few things about the pharma industry, which is well written in GMP, and with medical devices, because my 6 years experience is working with pharma and basically with medical device, and the others like supplements, cosmetics, but also electronics, automotive. So I wanted to show you here that not only pharma industry needs clean rooms, and that not many requirements in other standards than 14644 we can observe in a different types of production. So first, how do we meet the requirements for ISO 14644? If we look in GMP, we find a direct information there that you need to work in accordance to ISO 14644. And it is an only document in the field of pharma, medical, and others, in which you have that indication that you should use the standard. The others, like 13485 or others like cosmetics or supplements, do not have the information about the requirement of using ISO 14644. What you should know is that when you produce a medical device, you don't have even information in the standard, this one, 13485, that you should produce your products in clean room. Because the ISO 14644 isn't harmonized with the MDR, the directive. So it means that we all knew that we need to reach some requirements, and the auditors that came to us, to the inspection or to the audit, verifying if we are working under controlled parameters in a controlled zone, but still we don't have any information in the standards that we need to reach the 14644 requirements. And this is the problem for everyone else, let's say. It's the same, that we do not have any information. Of course, the second problem is that we have the inspection body, so it is the highest level inspection in each country, and it tells you and it gives you permission to produce drugs. But if we want to produce medical devices, some of you maybe know that we are not under an inspection body, we produce it under certification body, notification body, like TIF, like DECRA, like whatever, yes? So it means that they are not so high level as the inspection body, like main pharmaceutical inspector, like FDA. And this is also a problem because there are differences between those notification bodies, and they audit in a different way, and sometimes they give permission for different situations. So it is also difficult when we think about personal hygiene, clean room behavior, implementation of SOPs, in according to ISO 14644. Of course, everyone else do need or not that certification. So for medical device, class 1, it is also not needed. So if we don't need any certification process, it means that we don't have anybody who will tell us that we are doing something wrong, that would give us non-conformity. So we won't do any improvement. So this is a problem. Okay, still in pharma industry, I think that you will agree that still we have some misunderstanding. For example, let's say about gowning procedure in D class. When you open a GMP, it says that you need to use a normal protective clothes. What does it mean, protective clothes? I see in my clients' companies that they still use a cotton clothes for D-class areas. And the problem is that there is an information that we should do something, but there is still some things that, in GMP, of course, that I think could be better, could be improved. Of course, if we talk about medical devices and everyone else, we have a lack of information what we should do or should not in clean rooms, because they don't say anything about clean rooms. So this is the problem. And the funny thing is that auditors come and say, do you have clean room? Do you reach ISO 8? Now, according to 17141 is a category 1, 2, 3, 4. So do you reach your category, yes? And how you do that? And yeah, I think that in the things I will show you on the photographs, you will see that those tables show it clearly that if we don't have any written standard and written rules, it means that many people think that they can do anything they want. Okay, so of course, each of them have SOPs. It depends how good they are written. Each of them are concentrated on patient safety. But I think that in pharma industry, the mindset about the people thinking about that they are having a patient outside their company at the end of the product life, it's better than, for example, in medical devices. So it depends, of course, of the type of production. And the certificate, as I told you, under inspection body for pharma, notification bodies, so different types for medical devices and many others related to the kind of production. There is a problem for medical devices and everyone else with the external and internal trainings on clean room behavior, because it is also not required from the law. So it means that if we want to make an external training, it's always the same. We are talking only about the price. And we are talking that, okay, so many people, so many days, we need to produce, we don't have time. And in pharma, it is a little much better because people know that the inspection body requires us to prove that we have all those external and internal trainings, and that we are ongoing prepared for working in a production area. Microbial particle monitoring, donning, duffing, qualification required only for pharma. That's why it is quite good prepared for working and from clean room behavior. And for others, it is not required. We do not have to qualify people's gowning. We do not to qualify microbial or particle monitoring. It isn't required. That's why sometimes you could see strange things in the meaning of microbial or particle monitoring. For example, people take 1 point when they are measure particles in a room, let's say 100 square meters, and they measure 1 point, and they say, okay, it's enough, I reached my ISO class. And if I didn't reach it, it means I need to repeat that. But it's still only 1 point. And there are many other misunderstandings, mistakes, because there is no information about the qualification in their standards. Of course, high costs are always a problem. The cost of certification for medical device is many, many times more expensive than in pharma industry. Because in pharma, you have a governmental rules, and so you pay, for example, in Poland, you pay for one governmental amount, and if you want to certify your medical device, it means that you need to pay a lot of money. It depends on the class, of course. but it's much higher than for pharma. So, okay, let's start. Okay, as I see here, everything should be okay. What I forgot to tell you, these things that I'm showing now are not only from Polish companies, because sometimes people, when I come abroad and present my lecture, think that we in Poland are in some kind of black hole in which everybody do what they want. So it's not true. We cooperate with many international companies, also from Great Britain, and sometimes they reproduce their conditions from their own countries to our country, and we see strange things. So this is what I'm showing you now are all those, no, are almost all, because we could have for that lecture at least 6 hours if we wanted to show you everything. But I tried to show the most, let's say, popular, which you can see, what you can see, sorry, in a clean room. So first, yeah, I'm wondering one thing. Could you agree with the twinkle in the eye? Is it correct? Because Google Translator sometimes do the yeah, I don't know if it's correct. Is it correct if yeah. Is it okay? Okay, great. So it was good. Because I was worried that something goes wrong with the translator and I didn't know how to verify it. Okay, great. So first of all, you might see that in your clean rooms, perhaps, that we have our hair under over the hood. We have our cup outside the hood. And sometimes we do like this, yeah? I always tell my clients that if you use your cap like this and you cover only a half of your head, it means that you look like in a meat shop, yeah? In Poland, in a meat shop, you need to wear a cap, so as gloves. So that's why the first problem is that nobody verifies, or it is verified very poor if we are putting the caps and the hoods correctly. Sometimes we cut them by our fingers, and nobody tells us that something's wrong. And we do not change the caps, and we go, smoke outside the clean room, and we also do not change our cap. Yeah. I think that you also have such situations or some others which could be funny, but the problem is that if I do that in an A grade or B grade class clean room, it's a problem for the cross-contamination. So at the beginning of the conference, one man told us about touching your skin and leaving your bacteria on the floor or on the surface. And you don't need to touch your skin because it's enough to lose your hair outside your hood. So this is the first part. What can we observe else? Okay, so how to properly use a mask? The problem with the mask is that many people don't know how to use it, how to wear it. If they trying to, the problem is, for example, for A and B grade, when you need to put a sterile mask. And sometimes they put a non-sterile and then the sterile mask, so you have 2 masks on you. And the problem is that they try to touch their skin. They try to, they forget that they cannot do that, especially if they don't wear goggles. So what I observe, this is the most often situation, but also sometimes people wear their mask under their nose. Yes, they want to breathe. So that's why in low-class clean rooms, it is an often problem. Next, wearing your glove under your sleeve. cut your glove and don't change it in a PAL, generally in a personal lock, or see the cut but do nothing with it. So this is the point mainly. I have a client on LinkedIn who has posted yesterday a photograph with his new product, and he was totally covered and with the overall, and he was having gloves and his beautiful watch outside, and then it was the sleeve, yeah. And he was he posted this photograph to all the people and tell them, come on, come to me and buy my product. It is so clear and sterile. So it was funny, and the situation like this is very often. Yeah, I think that all of you have seen in your career that there is a problem to stand not touching the wall. Yes, you get tired, so you need to rest. So maybe you can sit on the bench or just touch the floor. Of course, using your phone, because using your phone is the best way to contact your children. I don't know what about you, but each time I train people, and I train thousands of people a year in Poland, each time I ask them not to bring their cell phone to Cleanroom, they say, no, stop, no, I need to have a contact with my child because my child is small, and if something happens, I need to know that. And yes, of course, it is possible for that situation, but what is most often that you will use your phone to contact with your Facebook, with your Instagram, with your LinkedIn, with your husband, colleague, or whatever, yes? So that's why, yeah, I think that it is a most often situation. Yeah, okay. What about water? How many of you drink water in your clean room? Of course, I mean PAL D class. No, no one. Okay, it's interesting. It's funny because each time I visit large companies where there are a lot of employees working in a large clean room area, they get thirsty after 20 minutes of working, and they tell me, no, Patrycja, it's impossible to don't have to, so we cannot have water in our PALs because we get thirsty and we cannot work. And each time I ask about that's the same in a conference, it doesn't matter if it's national or international, everybody don't drink, everybody. But yes, it is that people take water or whatever to clean room, and they eat something. I saw many things, apples, sandwiches, and many things in a clean room areas. Of course, it depends of the type of production, but what I want to tell you, that's why we showed the tables previously, that there are still no requirements written in a standards of production for medical devices and cosmetics and supplements in which you could read the things that you have in ISO 14644 and things you have in GMP. So it is not so easy to train people and to tell them that they have to do something, because each time they ask, come on, to show me, where is it? Show me in a written form. I don't want you to hear that it's a gold standard that you cannot drink, or you cannot smoke, or you cannot have a cotton shirt in a clean room. Just tell me where can I find it, but not in a clean room standard, ISO 14644, because it is not harmonized with my production standard. Show me in my production, and that's the end of the story, because we cannot find it. So this is the point, and that's why people do that. Even in pharma industry, like here, you don't. Okay, Some other things like properly use the bench, yes, we get tired. We need to be athletic if we want to do the donning and doffing procedure, I think. So that's why sometimes we put the leg on the bench. And yeah, the problem with the socks is very often. So is the problem with standing on the floor without the clogs. So it is the same. And wearing the boots without the clogs. And this I see very rare, but standing on the floor without the clogs, without any sticky mat or a decontamination mat, it's the most often part of people's gowning procedure because it's difficult to put the clothes on, really. I see that you are having an Alice, you are having an Alice underwear. So the most difficult part of gowning procedure is basically that one, because you need to put on your leg and do not touch the floor, yeah, and try to wear the clothes. And this is the point that sometimes you say, oh, sorry, it's impossible for me, yeah, to stay in a clog and to move your leg from that other one and just not to fall down. So that's why I think that, I don't know what was your gowning procedure today, but I think that it was. Okay, but this is a problem, you know, and how we solve it, try to tell people that they can use a sticky mat if they will change it after a gowning procedure. That it is possible to put something, even, you know, a sterile cloth, like disposable one, because it's better for you to stand on something than stand, of course, not on a bench, because sometimes people stay on the bench and try to wear their clothes. And it's very risky for your life, I think, for your health. Also, what is most interesting in people's clean room behavior is that they are trying to fit the clothes. Do they fit me or not? So they are touching the body. And here, of course, I have some clothes on me. But basically, you should be, let's say, no dressed, yes, no dressed. So that's why if we touch one time, second time with the clothes, our body, and we will use it as a reusable clothes, for example, for 3 days, 4 days, it means that outside this undergarment, there are a lot of bacteria. And we can wash our hands and disinfect the area, but we are still having a lot of bacteria from ourselves because we do not know, sometimes we don't know that we touch ourselves during donning and doffing procedure. Of course, touching the floor is very often too. Yeah, I told you about the watches, about the jewelry, about many things that you can also see in clean rooms. You know, I think that many times people just forget to get it off, yes? Because I don't believe that everybody wants to have everything on them, because first of all, it's kind of a risk. But second, it's not pleasant to have under gloves your watch or, I don't know, your jewelry, because, yeah, I think that they forget mainly. What is important? Sometimes you can make photographs and put it on your walls and try to mark the things that your employees should remember about. And this works better than having your SOPs on the wall, because sometimes people print your SOPs and ask their employees, come on, if you forget about something, just read it from your SOP, and here is the bench, here is the employee, and after 2 meters straight, there is a wall, and on the wall there is an SOP. So they cannot read it because they don't see any letters on this SOP. And if we have very simple pictograms in which we show the people what they should wear and what they don't, they are not allowed to do. It's easy because they are remembering that. Also very nice is to point out the things that you should do in a right order by adding them a number, like first 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm coming to my pal or whatever in a clean room, and I see the points, and I can take the thing that I need to wear, because sometimes people don't know, should I wear first mask or a cap or a mask? And it depends, yeah? We all know that it depends. So that's why putting numbers to your gowning procedure in the clean room could help a lot. What is also interesting? Yeah, squeeze the mop, yes. I don't see it very often, but I see it during my trainings, that people do not use the professional laundry, but squeeze mops, wash them in their wash machines. The wash machine is, of course, in a facility which is not located in a clean room, so we don't have a big grate. And vaporing the wall, yes, and then clean by a wipe the surface. So this is also very often what you can see in clean rooms in a different types of production. And I think that what is the most important to point out the things I said in my presentation is that we can implement almost everything. We do not produce anything. The only thing we have is the kind of consulting. So we do everything instead of producing, and of course, instead of building. And each time we work with the clients, they have a lot of money or not, so they can buy expensive things or not. And the problem is that, because here today we heard a lot about many wonderful solutions, devices that can help us to meet the requirements of GMP. But the problem is that even we have all that solutions, if we won't tell our people, our employees, what they work for and what is the end point of the production and who we have behind this technological process, it doesn't work, because it doesn't matter if we have very high level solution for disinfection or any others. Each time your employee is getting into the clean room, he will transfer bacteria and many others inside. If we talk about ATMP facilities, the other problem is the bioburden of the biological material you get inside. So you can prepare your clean room, but it still be contaminated internally, like by a personnel or by your material. So it means your employee need to know what they work for, because if they don't have the requirements, written requirements in their standard of production, they won't do that. They will ask you, okay, is it expensive? So we want to get it. Come on, we don't have money for that. And it's both international for Great Britain, for France, for Poland, for everyone. So I think that I will finish now my presentation, and if you have any questions, those are photographs from many facilities I have visited for a training. As you see, they are quite happy after this training. They look like. So we repeat those trainings, That's what I forgot to say, that you need to repeat the trainings. It's not that you implement something and tell the people, okay, now you work and it's great and I go to another client. But we need to verify if it's working and if people understand what we have implemented, because this is the second part, yes? maybe do I have 1 minute? Yeah? Okay. You know, when you work for ATMP, you need to be well educated. In Poland, if you want to produce sterile drugs based on cell culture, it means that you have to finish, for example, biotechnology, chemistry, or you need to be a medical doctor. But if you produce tablets or any other drugs or any other medical devices instead of ATMPs, you don't have to be well educated. What does it mean? That I understand what bacteria and fungi is. I know that because I've learned that on my study and through my education. But the people who work for simple production, drug production, medical production, really they don't know what bacteria is. They never seen it. So as the people who do the sanitization process for you, sometimes externally you hire them externally. So they don't know what is it. And the only thing they do is to go to their work, do what they should do, want to earn money, and go home after 8 hours. So they are not interested to, you know, build the world and have a safe contamination control plan, because they are interested in getting to work there, try to get some rest, and go home, and that's all. So that's why we need to build the responsibility of our people by trainings also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Patrycja.
Thank you.
Has anybody got any questions for Patrycja before we break?
Everybody wants to get some.
Oh, good. Everyone's getting hungry. Everyone's getting hungry.
Everybody
Okay, excellent. Thank you, everyone. We'll break now for lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrycja. We'll break for lunch back at 2:30. So, okay, thank you.